Gdańsk. Everything that you are looking at right now is less than 80 years old. In 1945, Gdańsk was almost completely burned to the ground, and then they rebuilt it, brick by brick, from old photographs. 3 days, 3 cities, one trip that I didn't expect to hit this hard. Stick around, cause in the end of it you will understand why this place feels completely different from anywhere else in Poland. Before we hit the streets, let me show you where we stayed. Nothing fancy, but honestly, it did the job. Wardrobe, bathroom, bath, first bed, second bed, TV, mirror, teacups, kettle, sofa, first chair, table, second chair, that's it. First stop of the day, the beach. I didn't expect a lot of things from it, but due to the fact that it's only 500 meters away from our hotel, it was our first place that we visited in this city. Brzeźno beach is the closest beach to Gdańsk city center, about 15 minutes by tram. It's been a summer retreat for locals since the 19th century. The pier here stretches 136 meters into the Baltic. Literally only 50 meters from the beach there is a big park, full of people, full of trees, full of that slow Sunday energy, even though it was a Friday morning. Right behind the beach sits Brzeźnienski Park. It's named after the district used by locals more than tourists and has that quiet, slow energy that's pretty rare to find this close to the sea. We followed the trail that technically led nowhere, but from there you could see ships lined up outside the port, waiting their turn to come in. Smaller vessels were entering the new port nearby, not on any tourist map, definitely worth it. And now it's time for the interesting story. After the beach, after the park and after the new port, we decided to take a tram to the central part of the city. Before visiting the old town, I decided that we would like to go there through the island that is in the center of the Gdańsk. I didn't know what this place is about, but I thought that it might be interesting to visit it. Here is the thing. This place is an industrial area. No tourists, no signs, and a lot of different confused factory workers. Fortunately or not, we didn't take a risk. After 20 minutes there, we just called taxi and traveled closer to the city center. The first tourist place that we visited in Gdańsk. Here we go. This is where everything changed. In August 1980, shipyard workers here went on strike and demanded civil liberties. Hundreds of factories across Poland joined in solidarity. That movement, called Solidarity, eventually brought down the communist regime without a single shot fired. There is this area around the Solidarity Museum that has some special vibe, special atmosphere. Heavier, quieter, more serious, like the city is still thinking about what happened there. The European Centrum of Solidarity building opened in 2014 right on this spot. Its rust-colored walls are designed to look like a ship's hull. It won the Council of European Museum Prize in 2016. Honestly, I really enjoy this place. I really like how Polish people remember and respect their history. From this museum we just walked around 15 or 20 minutes and you are already in the old town part of the city. No tram needed, the city just connects like that. Walking from the shipyard district toward the old town felt surprisingly familiar. White streets, modernist building mixed with post-war reconstruction. It reminded me a lot of Berlin, which makes some sense. Gdańsk was heavily destroyed in 1945 and rebuilt almost from scratch, and yet it keeps its identity. Near the Gdańsk Square, one of the oldest references to the city's name, there is a mural on the wall of building. It's a portrait of Paweł Adamowicz, mayor of Gdańsk for 21 years. He was stepped on stage during a charity event in January 2019 and died the next day. The mural was painted near his family home, close to the church of Saint Bridget. The city still carries that loss. Canal in the center of the city just caught me off guard. The Motława canal runs right through the city center. The island you see across the water is Granary Island. In 1576 the new Motława canal was dug, turning it into an actual island. By the 17th century there were over 300 granaries on it, storing up to 250,000 tons of grain, which made Gdańsk the largest harbor on the Baltic. Most of it was destroyed in Second World War. What you see today is a mix of restored fragments and new development. The atmosphere there was just really something. I really adored this. I strongly recommend you to visit this place. It's a must-visit place in my opinion. Frankly speaking, it's one of the places that you just don't wanna leave. There is a small monument on the island. It's dedicated to Paweł Adamowicz, a quiet personal tribute in the middle of the city he ran for 2 decades. The bridges here operate on a schedule to let ships through. We got stuck on the island when one of them was open. We spent a few minutes there, then found another bridge nearby that doesn't open. And here is that moment. The bridge swinging back from open position to closed, strangely satisfying to watch. We've been walking for hours. Time to eat. So basically we've just finished our meal in a restaurant that is called Gdańskie Poke. Pretty amazing restaurant. I really enjoyed the whole meal, especially the żurek. That was kinda different from the żurek that I've commonly eaten in Lublin. Not gonna lie, this difference was kinda surprising for me, and I really enjoyed it. Speaking about the second meal, that was pierogi. I've used to eat it in Ukraine. I guess it was the first time here in Poland that I've tasted them. I really adored the special taste that pierogi has. Yeah, I suggest you all to try them. It's like something that is kinda unique for the Eastern Europe part of the world. If you have a chance to try pierogi, and don't forget to eat żurek and watch this video about żurek that I've made a couple of weeks ago. And now it's time to check other famous places in the old town part of Gdańsk. Gdańsk Old Town was almost entirely destroyed in 1945 and rebuilt over decades using old photos, documents and whatever debris could be salvaged. The town hall tower is the tallest point in the old city. Neptune's fountain in front of it dates back to 1633. Local legend says Neptune himself created the city's famous gold vessel liqueur. The old town buildings are just built different. Tall, colorful, confident, beautiful. And then there is St. Mary's Church, one of the 3 largest brick churches ever built, alongside the Frauenkirche in Munich. Construction started in 1343 and took 159 years. It can hold up to 25,000 people. And St. Mary's Church, god damn, I mean it's really massive. Absurdly massive for the city this size. Not far from there is a small memorial to Paweł Adamowicz, the place where the city chooses not to forget. Mariacka street has existed since the 14th century. Back then it was a street of shoemakers and butchers. Now it's known as Gdańsk Amber Street. Gdańsk produces around 70% of the world's amber products. The Baltic Sea occasionally still washes raw amber onto shore after a storm. The gargoyle gutters on the buildings here were reconstructed after the Second World War from the original debris. Every single of them. After that, we spent way too long looking for a coffee. We just wanted to take a sip of the hot chocolate and to eat some cake, but we couldn't find a place where to do it. Walked around the full old town, did a loop around the canal, and finally found one. Was it worth it? Yeah, it was. Gdańsk has an extensive tram network that covers the whole city. We used it every day. And that was day one. A lot of walking, a lot of getting lost, and honestly, a lot more than I expected from this city. Day 2. We are leaving Gdańsk for a bit. Day 2 started the same way, with a breakfast. Convenient thing about our hotel, the tram stop was literally 10 meters from the entrance, one ride straight to the central station. Gdańsk Główny is the main railway station, built in the early 20th century, still functioning as a central hub for the three-city SKM rail network that connects Gdańsk, Sopot and Gdynia. The most beautiful railway station that I've ever visited. Definitely. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. The plan is to go with the help of the train to Gdynia, to walk there for a bit, and after that take the train to Sopot and spend some time there. And in the end of the day to come back to Gdańsk. The first monument we came across tells a very specific story. In 1939, the Germans occupied Gdynia, renamed it Gottenhafen, and expelled the local population. Families were forced to live with almost nothing. They weren't allowed to take their animals. The sculpture shows a family walking away and the dog left behind. Gdynia is one of the youngest cities in Poland. 100 years ago, it was a small fishing village of about 1,000 people. After the First World War, Poland regained access to the sea. By 1938, Gdynia was the largest and most modern harbor on the Baltic Sea. The city grew from 1,000 to 120,000 people in under 2 decades. This monument commemorates the defenders of Gdynia in September 1939. The 19-day battle against the German invasion before the city fell. Gdynia resisted longer than most expected. Gdynia's modernist city center is on Poland's list of historic monuments and is a UNESCO World Heritage candidate, one of the only Polish cities nominated. The city hosted the Solidarity-linked shipyard protests in 1970, where workers were fired on by police, an event that shaped the movement that eventually changed Poland. From the square, the main promenade stretches out with the water on both sides. A small port and the Naval Academy on the right, museum ships you can ride, souvenir sales and boats for rent on the left. A few things worth noting on the waterfront. The Joseph Conrad Monument. He was born in Ukraine, grew up in Poland and became one of the greatest writers in the English language. The Batyskaw Nautilus is a replica deep-sea vessel on a display. And this is the list of all passenger ships that once were in Gdynia. The city was a major emigration port in the interwar period, with liners running to New York and South America. We saw what we came to see. Back to the station. Next stop, Sopot. Right now I am at the Gdynia Główny, the main railway station in Gdynia. What can I say about Gdynia? Except the sea part of the city, where you can watch the sea, where you can watch some ships, where you can watch some historical places. I can say that I really enjoyed it. I can say that I really liked it. Just casual city. Will I come back to it in the future? Like, maybe. I don't have a big desire, but maybe. Who knows? Will I come back to it with a big desire? Definitely no. So that's it. I hope that Sopot will be a bit more interesting and a bit more exciting. It's a must visit for the first time, definitely. I still suggest you all to do it. You should definitely do it to see the city by yourself and decide whether you like it or not. That's it. Let's go to Sopot. Sopot is the smallest of the three cities, about 35,000 residents, but probably the most famous as a seaside destination. It's been a spa resort since 1823. In summer it becomes one of the most visited places on the Polish coast. The Church of St. George sits near the top of Monte Cassino Street, the main pedestrian drag that runs down to the pier. There is a small monument here to Wojtek, a bear who was adopted by Polish soldiers during the Second World War. He was officially enlisted in the Polish army, carried ammunition at the Battle of Monte Cassino in Italy, and later lived out his days in Edinburgh Zoo. Along the street you will find the Crook's House, Krzywy Domek. Built in 2004, it's designed to look like it's melting. It's now one of the most photographed buildings in Poland. Monte Cassino Street is Sopot's main pedestrian strip. It leads straight from the old church down to the pier, lined with cafes, restaurants and shops. In summer it gets very crowded. In off-season it has a different, quieter energy. Sopot has a pier, a wooden, iconic, beautiful pier, and they charge you to walk on it. I am not mad, I'm just surprised. And yeah, we paid for it. The Sopot pier is 511 meters long, the longest wooden pier in Europe, built in 1827 by a French army doctor who also founded Sopot as a spa resort. It started at just 31 meters. The current length was reached in 1928. Sopot is far better than Gdynia. Definitely more comfortable to walk here, like better atmosphere, more tourists. The biggest place to visit, the most attractive place to visit is the main molo in the city. The biggest surprise for me was that you need to pay $2.50 to walk here for everyone except children. They have to pay $1. It's pretty comfortable weather today, and I guess all good things are combined today to have a good, perfect and pretty cozy memories from this spot. I would choose Sopot because it's more comfortable for me. But if you will have a chance to visit both cities as I did, do it without any hesitations. And do not forget that it's only 10 minutes away from Gdańsk, so basically you just need to buy a ticket on the main railway station, 10 minutes and you are in Sopot, around 20 minutes and you are in Gdynia. So basically Gdynia is only 30 minutes away from Gdańsk, Sopot is only 10 minutes from Gdańsk, and it's so cheap to travel, around $2 from Gdańsk to Sopot, around $3 from Gdańsk to Gdynia. And yeah, if you have a free time, I would rather spend it through this small journey inside this big journey to Gdańsk. Time to eat. We found a local Polish restaurant and vent full traditional pork schnitzel, mashed potatoes and a salad. That's it with Sopot. Back to the station, back to Gdańsk. To 2 cities in one day, a lot of sea air, and one pier that cost us around $5 to walk on it. Day 2, done. Day 3 didn't start with a breakfast, it started with a small walk to the Brzeźno pier. Brzeźno is the area of the Gdańsk where we lived. We wanted to say goodbye to the sea, and I wanted to throw a coin in the sea as a small tradition to come back to the city in one day. And just to say thank you for the time that I spent there. I have a travel tradition, throw a coin into the sea at the end of the trip, to come back someday. Brzeźno pier felt like the right place to do it. There is a small lion figure on the pier. The lion is the symbol of Gdańsk. It appears on the city's coat of arms and across the city in different forms. Back to the hotel, having a breakfast, pack all things. Last hours in Gdańsk. Last day in Gdańsk. No rush, no agenda, just the city and whatever it still has to show us. We took the tram into the city center one last time, this time from a different direction. We wanted to see a part we hadn't covered, and of course to buy some souvenirs. Gdańsk's old town sits on the site of settlement that dates back to at least the 10th century. The city was known as Danzig for most of its history under German and Prussian control. It only became officially Gdańsk again in 1945. Almost everything you see in the old town was rebuilt after the war. We found a souvenir shop in the old town. I got a magnet, which is basically mandatory at this point. The weather on the last day was completely different. Overcast, grey, no sun. The city looked different, quieter and a bit heavier, but frankly speaking, Gdańsk was still beautiful, just in a different way. One thing worth knowing, there are boat tours of the harbor, 30 minutes, roughly $25. We didn't go, but if you have the time, it's probably worth it. Honestly, Gdansk is the city that grows on you fast. It's got history, it's got a character, and it doesn't try too hard. I respect that, and I really like that. We grabbed some food, took our time, and that was it. Trip is over. Well, almost over. That was it. Time to head home, back to the station. Basically, this is the end of the video. It all finishes where it all started, at the main railway station, as you can see right here. I've enjoyed this trip so much, and I can definitely say that you all should visit this city to feel it by yourself, whether you like it or not. Some parts of the city I liked more, some part of the city I liked less, but overall I would say that this one is definitely the must place to visit, because you can find here almost everything that you might like, from the sea to some historical places to some museums, overall to basically beautiful streets to walk. Of course, you can find something more in Sopot and Gdynia, but you're not able to visit them if you don't wanna or you don't have a time. Main thing is to visit only Gdańsk, and after that you can decide whether you wanna visit something more or not. So all in all, thanks all for watching this video. I appreciate it a lot. I hope you all enjoyed. Peace to you all. Until the next time.